It's new tonight. The Department of Justice has granted Fort Smith more time to complete federally required sewer improvements. Reporter Jada Daniels spoke with the city leaders about what this means for the city and taxpayers.
While crews have worked to repair thousands of pipes and manholes throughout the city over the last couple of years, Interim City Administrator Jeff Dingman tells me there's still a ways to go. Now they have until June 2038 to finish the job.
Structural deficiencies, we had capacity problems. We had issues with our sanitary sewer system. The main contention that we have had all along is the fact that we couldn't do it in the accelerated time frame that was originally part of the consent decree.
Dingman tells me this extension is about more than just a deadline. It gives the city time to make improvements without the total financial burden falling directly on the ratepayer.
Had a long-going debate of whether you do incremental increases or you try to levy a huge increase all at once, and then know that you need to increase rates. You need to do it incrementally over a period of time to allow folks to adjust to it, and then it also allows people to adjust their usage and perhaps adopt new usage habits.
And if you're wondering how long those rate increases will last,
starting on January the 1st through 2030. And so we have, for a total of, 6 different 3.5% rate increases on the ratepayers for the citizens of Fort Smith as part of our ongoing commitment. And
while sewer improvements may be hidden underground, crews will continue making progress citywide. Dingman tells me this extension was the best move, not just for the city, but those who call Fort Smith home. In Fort Smith, covering news where you live, Jada Daniels, 5 News.
Meanwhile, another update on the search for the next Fort Smith city administrator. The city says it is now down to 2 candidates, Jeff Dingman and Robert Civic, a county administrator from Whitfield County, Georgia. City says the other 2 candidates withdrew from the process today. City directors are holding a special meeting on Thursday to interview Civic. Directors will then make a hiring decision in an executive session after next week's regular meeting. You can hear from the 2 candidates at a public meet and greet event at Riverfront Park Pavilion come Wednesday night. And as the extreme heat moves through our area this week, the Department of Energy has placed 17 states, including Arkansas and Oklahoma, under an emergency order. The order aims to reduce stress on the nation's power grid. Now, the organization that controls the power grid for the 17 states will now act on reducing electricity demand, which could potentially mean rolling blackouts. You don't have to do anything as of right now, but experts do recommend that setting your thermostat higher than normal will save you a few dollars on your next energy bill. This order, by the way, runs through next week. Meanwhile, Centerton lifted part of its mandatory outdoor watering restrictions today after a transmission line ruptured last week. Customers can now water their yard and plants, but the city is asking you, though, to do it on a rotating schedule. Water line break happened last week near Pea Ridge. City leaders were worried about water tower storage levels.
Our water provider had a really bad break on the transmission main that supplies all our water. So to help them combat that and get their storage levels back up, we issued the conservation order on the irrigation for the water.
Benton County says at its peak, the broken line was losing 2,000 gallons of water every minute. By the way, if you live in an odd number address, you can water your plants Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If you live in an even number address, you can water Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Fort Smith woman wanted in connection with that deadly shooting of a teenager was arrested yesterday after nearly 3 weeks on the run. And we learned today more from police on what led to her capture. U.S. Marshals arrested Jasmine Johnston at a Houston, Texas park yesterday. She's accused of shooting and killing a 16-year-old boy on July 7th off Elm Street in North Fort Smith. Fort Smith police say public tips helped lead them to her location. They worked with multiple agencies on capturing a second suspect in Oklahoma. They say collaboration with other agencies is crucial during manhunts.
Without that, cross-jurisdictional collaboration, the ability to do that, it just gets so much easier to lose track of really dangerous people. So this day and age, we have the tools and resources we have, what we now know about collaborating with other agencies, it brought this to a successful outcome.
Johnston is waiting to be brought back to Fort Smith. Now the second suspect, Donnie Warner, pled not guilty to his charges last Wednesday. Rogers police officer who drowned off duty was laid to rest today in his hometown. Fred Marsh died after his family says he tried to save someone on Elk River in Missouri 9 days ago. A procession took his body from Rogers to his hometown of Rison, Arkansas, where family, friends, and fellow officers laid him to rest today. Rogers police say Marsh had just started at the department but made a lasting impact. They also said in a social media post the outpouring of support from the community, quote, provided comfort to Officer Marsh's family and strength through our department during one of the most difficult chapters in our history. All new tonight at 10, the Secret Service says it led an operation around Arkansas this month looking for those skimming devices. A release said Secret Service agents visited more than 800 businesses looking for these devices that scammers use to steal your credit card information. They found 7 of them, and they say that'll help prevent more than $7 million from being lost to scammers. Secret Service says consumers can take its steps to protect your information. First, inspect ATMs and card readers. Don't use them if they appear loose, damaged, or crooked. Second, you can use tap to pay whenever possible. And lastly, if you're using a debit card, either run it as a credit to avoid entering your PIN number or use your hand to block that PIN when you're entering it. Arkansas Department of Health says the number of confirmed Cyclospora cases jumped another 13 from this weekend. It's now up to 92 confirmed cases in Arkansas. ADH did not update the county totals for confirmed cases, but said in a previous update the majority of them were in Benton County. Oklahoma case numbers will be updated tomorrow morning. 41 states are now reporting cases of this intestinal parasite. Health leaders continue to urge you to wash your produce thoroughly and stay up to date with any future recalls of lettuce. A new app launched today that will help SNAP recipients in Arkansas be better protected from scammers. The app is called EBT Edge. Users can now lock their cards, check balances, and block certain transactions directly from the app. The Department of Human Services says the safety features have also been upgraded. It'll automatically block out-of-state purchases with EBT cards and lock the cards when it's not being used. It's free to download on all app stores or by visiting ar.gov/snap. As Congress remains in recess, 3rd District Congressman Steve Womack made 2 stops today in the River Valley, visiting the Boys and Girls Club of the Diamond Hills in Alma. That center serves children across the River Valley, serving more than 1,800 of them, in fact, in the past 2 years. Congressman Womack says he wanted to stop by because he says he believes the Boys and Girls Club a huge factor in raising many to become successful adults.
So here today is just one more example of how we should be approaching the next great generation of young people that one day are going to be leading, guiding, and directing the affairs of the United States of America.
Congressman's schedule says he'll visit Drake Field Airport in Fayetteville tomorrow to hear an update on remodeling plans. And then Wednesday, he is scheduled to present a medal to Fort Smith police officer Kyle Newman.